Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Jim. Today we are going to talk about learning and learning by acquired knowledge in particular. We're going to have a discussion today about how acquired knowledge is that kind of process of that building and understanding through possibly experiences, obtaining information, possibly reflecting on your own experiences or other people reflecting on their experiences and passing that wisdom along. As opposed to a kind of innate knowledge type thing, which is present with everybody from birth. We all have that innate kind of knowledge, but everything else you have to learn and you have to pick it up and acquire it, whether that be from learning in a classroom environment or, like I was saying, from experience or from others. And I think that the one thing, I mean, I've got certain things to go through today, but I think one thing you're a big advocate of, Jim, is reading and researching things as well. Reading books, reading what other people have experienced and learning from their knowledge. I mean, books to you, Jim, have taught you quite a lot along your journey, and you learn quite a lot from them. And not just reading them possibly one time, but going back to them and revisiting that throughout different stages of your journey and using them to learn from.
I think, personally, for me, I'm quite excited about. I'm reading Tony Robbins' Financial Literacy, and I've had the book for a wee while, and I kind of thought, right, okay, it's time to start that. And he's talking about billionaire fund managers and costs involved, and all the hidden costs involved in fund management that you don't get to know about it. You're investing your pension in, and he says he's going to debunk the whole thing, and he's going to tell you everything that goes on behind the scenes and how they get money out of you, all these people that are charging you all these fees without you actually knowing it. Good, there's it. There, I tell you what, if it's happening in the UK, think about it. Remember, that's America. If it's happening in the UK, when you think about the logic of that, there's definitely another like mis-selling scandal, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to know. So I'm going through that process right now and just reading it. I mean, it's a big book. It's like War and Peace in terms of the size of it. And I thought, God, is there no condensed version? It's like, no, but nothing difficult is easy to acquire. Think about it.
Right. Okay.
Think about it, because it's like, if it was, then everybody would have it. Everybody would have that knowledge. Everybody would have that expertise. We wouldn't need to do anything. They'd be managing their own funds and all the rest of it. And I still don't think the majority of people will actually understand that there's a 95% group and a 5% group. And by what you learn and how you think and how you take action will determine if you're in the 95 or the 5%. 95 is, you're just coasting along, you're either dead or you're struggling to retire. And the 5% is like super rich and wealthy. Woohoo!
Yeah, and I think that the difference in those percentages is like you said, Jim, the information and that all the same information and facts and things is available to everybody. It's just how you acquire it and whether you actually consciously make an effort to learn and find the right people to learn from.
I'm amazed at the social media trolls right in there, pitchforks and torches, and how they act sometimes when you say things like that. Like, for the example, the other day I put on, everybody's in the queue for the easy get rich quick, but nobody really seems to be in the queue for get rich slow, if that makes sense, and compound over time. And see the amount of people that objected, especially on landlord tax, the forum, objected to the fact that that's no true. Whoever gets rich from just saving, and it's like, me. and probably a lot more other people. Maybe you should check out Dave Ramsey's podcast. Think about it. So I'm amazed at every single time, and then you look on their profiles, and they're more or less, when you look on the profile, and this is it's maybe a reasonable indicator, but it's not an exact indicator, and they kind of look, you're broke. It's like you've not got money, you're not rich, and it's like so maybe you should just shut your mouth and actually learn something for once, and actually listen to other people that are super wealthy,
to try and then propel yourself into that bracket.
See the amount of naysayers out there. It's unbelievable, and some could be watching it right now. Some could be watching this right now. But it's unbelievable the amount of naysayers out there that say it can't be done, it won't be done, it's impossible to do, and all the rest of it. And it's like, well, that all happened in the early 1900s, and it's been happening for thousands of years before. And look at the progress we've got now. Look at, we've got hot water. Something that was never happened. Look at, you've got an automobile, something at the turn of the 1900s was practically unheard of, really, and it was just like, oh, it's only for the rich, and it's like now it's an available commodity day to day that people use, and it's almost to the point where people feel like an entitlement to have an automobile. It's almost like people have an entitlement to have a house, irrespective if they can afford it or not.
Yeah, I think everybody feels like it's something that they're entitled to have. I mean, but which they are, but you need to put in the effort to be able to afford that. And
well, do you realise we live in a capitalistic world? It relies on you paying money to someone else to actually get a mortgage to get your house in the first place. And if you can't do that, then that's why you're not getting a mortgage, and that's why you can't get a house. So then you have to rely on the private rented sector or the social rented sector. And then if the social rented sector can't pick you up, then the private rented sector's got to pick you up. But you're probably the type of person that actually has a go at us and says that we shouldn't have more than one house. And it's like, but you can't even get a house anyway. And it's not because of it's your means that causes that. It's nothing to do with anyone else except you yourself. You are where you are because of the decisions you've taken and the decisions you've let other people take, and also the decisions you've failed to take.
Yeah, it does really fall back to your ways and means, and that definitely reflects the position that you're in life at the moment.
I always get my high horse, don't I?
That's what it's good for. But do you know,
honestly, Richard, I can't help it, because I see it so many times with some people bleating on social media all the time about how hard done by they're done, or they want to take stuff off of someone else because they're maybe a wee bit better off than them, or they're really envious of the other people because they're better off than them. And it's like, and then when you look on, it's like they've never made any effort to do anything for it. They've never it's like they've never gone back to university. They've never gone back to college. It's like they've left school. They've just coasted after that. They've never made any effort to do anything else to improve their situation. They've relied on everyone else doing it for them.
Yeah, and social media.
I'm not a Farage supporter, by the way. Just in case anybody thought that.
Social media and platforms like what we're on just now, when we come back to like the acquired knowledge and acquired knowledge for the right people and things, this opens up, social media opens up a platform for just anybody to come on and could say whatever, and like you say, spout whatever. And what's where is the accreditation for them, what they're trying to teach people or pass along to people? That it's actually factual, or it's from actual experience, or they've come from a successful position. You don't have anything to back that up unless they demonstrate that to you.
Where's your expertise?
Yeah.
What's your track record?
Do you know how long you've been in an industry?
Who says you're that good? Yeah. Or are you just regurgitating a book that you've read or someone else's script? That's ultimately what it's down to. You don't, and it's the thing about, and this is the key here, because a lot of these gurus are actually taught fake it till you make it. So in other words, just kind of embellish the truth a bit, make it look a bit more than it is, and don't tell everybody the full details just in case they realise that you're actually stony broke.
Yeah.
Now, I was stony broke, and I know what stony broke's like, and I don't want to go back to being stony broke. Hence the reason why I forge ahead every single day, and I improve myself every single day by reading, by strength and conditioning training, by running, by cycling, by swimming, whatever it is I can do to improve my well-being and also my financial acumen, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
even sorry, I mean, you keep trying to talk, and I'm like, I'm going to finish with this bit and let you get in for 2 seconds. It's even this bit. It's like I had no desire to do strength and conditioning for an hour this morning, and my muscles and that. But then I thought, you've got mountains to climb, you've got marathons and ultra marathons to run. This is essential. This is called compounding. This is called get rich slow.
Oh, yeah.
See, everybody thinks it's about money. It's not. Get rich slow. Rich is not about money. Somebody came on to me the other day and said that. It's like, yeah, but it's not all about money. And I went, I never said it was. I just talked about being rich. How you define rich and your beliefs is what you've put on it. I don't define rich as that. I define rich as a multitude of stuff. Money is just part of it.
Yeah, I think because you could look at somebody that possibly doesn't have a lot of money, but they could still maybe have like a rich household because they've got a good family unit and they've got good relationships. And you know that's a big part of my definition of being rich in life. I think if you've got good relationships and a partner and husband, wife, children, all that stuff, that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, somebody said about going to the pub every single day and getting pissed.
if that's,
and just no bother about care in the world. For some people, that's retirement.
Yeah, you do see that quite a lot. But the reason we talk about learning from acquired knowledge, and like you say, Jim, your books, your podcasts, and all these things that you feed from to adapt your own knowledge and things. When people think about building your knowledge, they immediately think of a classroom and going back and obviously in that classroom situation and learning and obviously getting whether it's a degree or whatever, fair enough, is quite good, but that's not what this conversation today about. It's about all the ways where you could learn from other people throughout life, and not just from an educational point of view, but also like experience through experience and learning and through social learning. And that's boots on the ground within if you're within an industry and trying to learn, as being in amongst those people and social interactions, and actually like I say, boots on the ground and learning. When you're chucked in at the deep end in an industry, you will definitely learn very quickly, but you need to be involved.
You learn very quickly if you want to learn very quickly, won't you?
Yeah.
For people that are chucked into an industry, sometimes it's so overwhelming for them, they just leave and do something else. Suddenly they love their old job.
Yeah.
My old job was
the grass wasn't always,
can I have it back?
The grass wasn't always greener.
Yeah, honestly, I've seen that time and time again. Well, a lot of people, especially in the estate agency industry, especially in the letting industry, that's quite prevalent as well. Or anything. It's the get rich quick thing. It's like, oh, well, I didn't realize it was so much work and I had to put so much effort in. Yeah, okay, but that's why very few people can attain it. That's why there's a 5% group. For that reason. 5% group doesn't go out their way to try and keep the 95% group where they are. Anybody in the 95% group can choose to be in the 5% group by their actions and what they do on day to day. Compounding.
Yeah, and it's compounding your knowledge and building on that as well. I think as well with anything, if you've just got that, if you develop that strong kind of base knowledge, then it kind of improves your cognitive process and that critical thinking path, and it enables you to then excel. But you need to at least learn the basics of something before you actually get
look at it this morning. We were in a session this morning, and what were we in a session with? Let me just tell you, it was all about running a world-class customer base. Running a world-class customer base. Now, we are going into the ESTAs, which is the Oscars of the estate agency world. And we're going in with 100% approval rating from our customers. So why on earth would you go to a session for an hour and spend an hour on running a world-class customer base if you're getting 100% approval rating from your customers?
Because there's always room to learn more.
Of course there is. There's always room. There's always the opportunity to maybe push it a bit higher in terms of your standards, to give a little bit more to a customer, to identify some area where you could improve on in order to make the experience better, in order to make customer retention higher.
Yeah, customer retention was a big part of that training this morning, and obviously I am aware that repeat business and people that you've worked with over the years, that is, but there was one thing I picked up on, and he spoke about testimonials and things this morning, and I thought, I never ever thought of that. So I learned that this morning.
What I've picked up on most of the time about customer retention is actually just keep them in touch. Something keep them in touch with the right people. And it happens, and actually getting yourself out there in front of other people that maybe don't. I had somebody just approach me the other now. I was working at Fife Fest over the weekend because we're on Monday. So I was working at Fife Fest over the weekend, and the person came over, it was stallholder, and says, "You're Jim Parker from Fife Properties, eh?" And I went, "Yep." He says, "I've actually got a site over in wherever it is." And he says, "Look, I'm maybe looking to offload one of the plots." And I mean, it's a service plot. So we had a wee discussion back and forward. And then he says, he says, "What about, are you in with Fife Council?" And I went, "Well, I did sit on their board for about 10 years in the early 2000s for the housing board." And he went, "Yeah, okay." He says, "Well, I've got a big plot wherever it was. I'm not going to tell you because that's between me and him. I've got a big plot there, just in case anybody knows this person." He says, "I'm looking to see if I can get planning permission on it to do houses." And I thought, well, that's going to be pretty easy because they're desperate to get housing, especially social housing. So I'm going to touch base with him about that after this. So touch base with him about that, and touch base with him about his other thing. And but then nobody would ever know who I was unless I got myself out there, unless I networked all the time, unless I spoke to other people. And that is the whole point. You don't know whose life you're going to touch at any point in time. But if you keep swinging for the fence, at some time you'll hit that ball and it'll go over.
Yeah, I think
that's all I do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's to continually keep trying, even if you're not always getting the result, or you feel like you're not being successful. It's not going to happen every time. You're not going to win everything first time, but that continual, the repetitiveness, like you say, if you keep swinging for the fence, you're going to hit it over at some point.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Everything's only a matter of time. There's one phrase I always remember, and it's a great one. Every dog has their day.
Yeah.
If you're down right now and you're almost out, keep going, because every dog has their day. And I can guarantee you that, because I've done it loads of times.
Yeah, and I think as well, if people are feeling it, like if you're feeling low and you're like, "Oh God, I've failed so much, I'm at this point," well, keep going, because you could only go back up the way if you're that low. Do you know?
Yeah. Well, but some people actually, they go down, they stay down, they count themselves out.
Yeah, write themselves off.
Sometimes a lot to do with the people they surround themselves with.
Yeah.
And the people surround themselves with are kind of similar. So therefore they just go, "Yeah, just stay down. Just stay down." Like, no, just get back up. Dust yourself off and let's go for it again.
Yeah. And it's at those points in life or anybody's journey, I think, then where you need the right people around you and proper like mentorship and people that you could take the right advice from, depending on what you're trying to do or what industry you're in, or or what your business is. But mentorship, I know for you, Jim, throughout the years, back when in the beginning you picked up on a few people that propelled you exponentially because you listened to them and learned from them, and it put you onto the next stage of your journey. So I mean, how important is mentorship?
Yeah, mentorship's key. So I'm not really sure if you're aware of this, but at the middle of October, I'll be in Barcelona and I'll be meeting up with Jordan Belfort and Robert Kiyosaki.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The opportunity appeared.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it with both hands. Whoa, what a ones. Yeah, beauty. Now, I'm not typically a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki. But you've got to admit, if he's got 10,000 odd units and he's so successful, why would you not want to learn something from him?
There's something to learn from him.
Like, get around that guy. I mean, the same with Jordan Belfort. I mean, Way of the Wolf is a fantastic book on straight line sales technique, on how to do sales and bring people back, objections, bring them back, handle objections all the way through. Yeah. And he's absolutely first class at it. I'll be honest, he doesn't come across great when he talks and all the rest of it. But I couldn't care less. It's like, if he's successful in his own right for some reason, I want to see why. and I want to see if I can get a bit of that. And that's the whole point. That's why you have mentors. That's why my mentors in the early days, when I was like stony broke, were like teaching me how to do certain things and going, Jim, you just need to pick up the phone and phone people. And I'm like, I don't want it. I'm scared. It's the turmoil and the pressure I put myself under to do that, because it's just not natural for me.
Nature, yeah. Nowadays,
it's no bother. I mean, there was a music artist at Fife Fest, a headliner, that I was speaking to Jordan about, and he says, "Oh, they'll never." He says, and I says, "Just watch me." So I gave him a ring, and I went, "Hey, are you coming? Are you coming to Fife Fest? And we're going to do this, and we're going to do that." And I went, "Yeah, that would be great. Let me speak to my brother." And there's a deal, and it's like everybody else says it can't be done. And it's like, as soon as you say to me it can't be done, it's like, I think, yeah, okay, can I work out a way this could be done?
Have you noticed possibly over the years that when you speak, like in situations like that, and I'm sure you've come across a lot of them over the years, that people maybe say to you like, "Oh, that can't be done," but they've not actually tried to see if it would work, or actually, like you say, or even just picked up the phone to see if it does. Like,
you know why they say they can't be done? Because they've not even tried.
They've not tried that,
and they can't be done because, and it's because they've told themselves that. Your mind gets what you expect. So if you keep telling yourself continually it can't be done, then your mind's not going to work towards doing it, is it? It's just going to say it can't be done, draw a line under it. That's the door closed.
You've mentally shut
got a mind. Your mind's like a parachute. If it's not open, it can't work. So if you've got it open, if your mind's open, and then opportunity appears, you're more likely to jump on that and actually see what you can get out of it. That's key and fundamental here. So for me, it's just all about where's opportunity, where does it appear, how can I get it, what can I do with it, and where will it take me?
Yeah,
I mean, I've been speaking to financial planners lately, not financial planners, wealth planners, I would say, and they're coming up with strategies about inheritance tax planning, about succession planning, about legacy planning, and it's like, and to be honest, I maybe think to myself, yeah, they're probably just going to tell me what I know already. But am I going to dismiss that? No, I'm still going to take the session with them, and I'm still going to grill them on it, and I'm still going to ask them questions. I'm still going to get them to come up with a proposal and ideas and see if they are. Because the most frightening thing that most people do not realize, here it is. Listen, you don't know what you don't know. I'll say that again. You don't know what you don't know. And someone else might know that, and probably will know that, which will allow you to become even more successful in what you're trying to achieve. You've got to find that person. That's the goal. You've got to find these people that will help you achieve your goals. Not do it yourself. Find other people that know how to do what you want to do, but you're not maybe capable of doing it. That's what exploratory conversations are all about. That's how you acquire knowledge.
And I think that's where it comes at the terms of where this acquired knowledge really shapes your understanding, and having that, having that ability to be quite reflective, possibly on your own experiences or what you've watched other people do, and like, okay, right, well, we've done this before, it doesn't work, so what's the point in doing it the same way again? Let's see if we could find people that could join us or help us to do it differently, to try and get a better result or a different result.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about. Branson has to be the master in this. It's funny, but I actually, it's weird because I actually take this for granted now, the time I spend. And he keeps getting, he's always either first or second in anybody's quotes. It's moderately or brilliantly successful. He's always the person that they say, oh, well, you should, Richard Branson. It's like, God almighty, really? Every single time. And yet to me, he's just like, yeah, that's my bike buddy when we're out on, when we're out cycling. It's like, but he is more than that. You know, everybody knows that. He's got a skill and expertise that if you could get inside his head for a significant period of time, it would probably rub off on you. Well, it would rub off on you. You get like your people you associate with, I would say.
But even obviously his time's obviously really precious
Well,
and very limited.
you've got to work out ways that this is how you get around mentors. This is how you get around extremely successful people. You can phone them up and ask them and say, look, would you mentor me, or would you want to have coffee and all the rest of it, and just tell me a bit about what I can do and how I can do it. I've just got a proposal I want. And sometimes, more than likely, some people will go, yeah, I could do that. I mean, I do several Zoom sessions with people with that. It's just, no bother, I could do a Zoom with you if you want, and we could just go over things and get your head clear about what you're doing and all the rest of it. There's nothing there for me, by the way. And that's what you can do. Or you can do something that they do or they love. It builds that connection. It builds that connection. Like if somebody likes boats or yachts or diving or whatever, or triathlon or cycling, or if they like running, whatever they like, it's like if you have a similarity in that field and you like that as well, then there's an opportunity to get in the door. Because think about it. If you knew somebody certain was running the London Marathon, okay?
Yeah.
And you knew their pace and you thought, I could keep up with that pace. Would you know? Would you not? When you think about it, it's like
run alongside them.
Aye, run alongside. Nonchalant. The key is not to get fandom. No, not to get gushy about the whole thing. It's like, this is a normal person, by the way, you're running with. It's, they're just like everybody else, and their objective at this point in time is just to get around this course. It's not about you hounding them all the way around and asking them questions and talking about it's like people ultimately want to what are people most interested in?
Validation.
Close. Themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are most interested in themselves. What's the first thing you do when you see a photograph that you might be in?
I don't like that.
No. What's the first thing you do when you see a photograph that you might be
you
in?
Look at you. You look at yourself.
You look for yourself. You look for yourself straight away. You don't bother about anybody else. You look for yourself straight away.
And then 9 times out of 10 probably criticize it.
Well, possibly. I don't do that.
No, but a lot of people do.
I don't do that because that's a learned habit not to do that. That's like, as soon as you start criticizing yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're knocking. It's like you're chipping away at it's like you're chipping away at your basically your super suit that you've built over the years. Your tenacity and all the rest of it, and you're now chipping away at it because you're talking negatively about yourself. So that's the worst thing you could ever do. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your future. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself to the point where you think, I can succeed at anything. Now, whether that's right or wrong is a completely different thing about whether you can or not. But it's the very fact that you have that full belief in yourself is more important.
But again, it's acquiring the knowledge from somebody that's got a lot more experience and probably a lot more life experience than you, to be able to get yourself in that mindset to think like that about yourself. Because it is a totally inherent thing that people look at themselves and criticize, and and it's just a knock-on effect on your own, your own self, and it could hold you back.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely.
Yeah, so acquiring knowledge is definitely a big part of that, because you learn from other people that have changed their mindset and not to be so self-critical and things. But I mean, like I was saying there about acquired knowledge, it really does then shape your understanding of things, because then you start to think, oh, right, that makes sense, and you could reflect back on things and think, right, okay, now I know that doesn't work, and there's no point in doing it the same way. So yeah, definitely acquiring the right knowledge helps you understand and progress forward.
You'd be surprised how many people actually can still continue to do it the same way, even though they know damn fine it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, in my own experience, I've done it with things, and it's not until you realise, God, I keep doing this and expecting to get the same result. I need to do something different, or I need to bring somebody different in. Yeah, I mean, we've all been there, I would imagine, but it's realising that, right, you need to change this.
Yes, but it's having the discipline to do it.
Yeah,
because it's easy just to after a period of time just forget and go back to your status quo. And that's what a lot of people do. Yeah, a lot of people do that in their action. I mean, there's a great example. How many people go on property mastermind courses? How many people go on courses for well-being? How many people go on courses for anything, finance, accountancy, whatever it is? How many people? And I'll tell you, if everybody watching or listening to this right now, put your hand up if you've ever been on a course you've started off with, and then maybe about 3 or 4 days, maybe even a week or a month later, you're back to normal. You're just doing the same thing as you did before. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's what happens.
You come out all wired and think, "Wait, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this." And,
yeah,
and then
it's human nature.
Yeah,
it's you know why it's human nature, because your mind tells you it's like, why do you need the aggravation? That wee voice that sits in your head, it says, hey, whoa, what are you doing? It's like, this is good. We're doing okay. Why do you want to do anything more? Why do we not just go back to where we were before? It was nice and comfortable in our comfort zone.
Comfort zone, yeah.
Why do we need the stress? Why do we need the aggravation? Do we really need to do that? That's what happens. Or it's like, do we really need to put in all that hard work? And then you have a conversation with yourself and you convince yourself it's like, yeah, it's not really worth it. I've done it. Everybody's done it. And anybody that says they've never done it isn't telling the truth. Or what they would say in court is, they must be mistaken. By the way, that doesn't mean to say I've been in court or anything. No, I know that's what they say. And instead of calling somebody an out-and-out liar, you have to say, I think that this person must be mistaken. Oh dear.
Yeah. I think the good thing about obviously acquiring knowledge and things as well is that if you learn from other people around you and how they do different things and how things work, you start to develop that, as you grow, you start to develop that knowledge of just how the world around you actually works. And things start to make a lot more sense, I think, if you learn from all the people that are within the world and how the world works and runs, basically. And I find that very interesting. And I would hope that for the most part, everyone else would, but I don't think that is the case. I think some people just don't care. But I think it's really interesting to know how the world works and how different people interact and how different situations can be managed to your advantage and to everybody else's advantage around you.
Well, we've all got our own personality styles. Typically, there's 4. So when you think about the logic of it, you would like that, but you might find that the other 3 personality types wouldn't like that, or 2 of them might and 2 of them might not. Because I'm like that as well. I'm quite process driven, so I like to know how things work, how things happen, how things. Just pure curiosity. I do explain to people rather than actually put them on the spot and almost feel confrontational. I've learned, because I know, especially with security at the airport, I've learned to say that the reason I'm asking this question, I know it's an odd question, but it's just like I'm completely process driven and I'm fascinated by what's going on here. So why do you do it? Why does it happen like that? Why do you do it like that? And then they give the answer and they go, would it be easier to do it like this? And they go, I never thought of that. So it's rather than being confrontational, it's like, what are you up to? What are you looking at? Why do you want to know?
Why do you want to know that?
I mean, I did that. I was at the big festival last year, and I was going around all these organic stalls and all these places that had a new product out, a new food product. And I was fascinated by some of them. I was like, oh my God, how did you manage to get cold pressed juice into a wee container without actually putting any preservatives in for it to last that long? How is that possible? Yeah. Stephen asked that question. I think one of them asked me, from whoever it is, Unilever, are you?
Oh, like a competitor.
Yeah, honestly, because I was so inquisitive about how this was done and how the product was made and how the packaging was done. And I was just so fascinated by the whole thing. And it's because I've come from a manufacturing background as an accountant, a management accountant. So it completely fascinates me, these sort of things. And it's not to do anything else. That's why when I've offered to help some people sometimes, they're going, no, you're all right. It's like, because I genuinely believe at some point they actually think I'm going to take what they've got and actually do it myself. And it's like, I've got no desire to get into the pub industry. That's just one of them. When I says, oh, I could give you a hand. I could, if you want, we'll have a coffee. You could run it by me. It's like, no, you're all right. It's like, all right, okay, fine. And I genuinely believe that's what it was. They think you're going to take their idea and steal it and do it. And it's like, I've got better things to do. And it's like, how much money do you think I need to be able to want to start something completely different in your industry and take all my time away from the industry that I'm brilliant at and I make loads of money in?
It's quite a shame that people, their initial straight reaction is to be wary and obviously think, oh, you're going to steal this here, rather than this person's just been helpful. It's a shame.
I've got a wee thought on that. That's probably because they're like that themselves.
Right, okay. Because where they were more like...
Yeah, that's probably because they're like that themselves, whereas I always get told off for being so naive. When somebody says, go to have a chat with you and all the rest of it, and I'm telling everybody what we're doing, and I remember other people, Jim, you're not supposed to be telling people all these secrets. It's like, but why? It's like, surely they'll know, because they'll copy you.
Yeah.
So my complete naivety at things is one of my, it's a strength and it's also a weakness.
I think you could find a good balance with being, not too cautious and not too naive. I think there is a middle ground there. But there was a key word that when you were talking there that I picked up on, and it's curiosity. And curiosity is such an important part of learning and developing your knowledge. But curiosity, like you say, it's something that's inherently ingrained into us from when we're like these sayings like curiosity killed the cat.
I think you get knocked out when you're at school.
You're trained not to be like say sayings like curiosity killed the cat and things. That I remember that from being a child, and those things stick with you. And it's like, oh, I better not, because that's
nobody. No, the education system is so industrialized and it's so underfunded. And the resources are actually scarce in terms of the amount of teachers and labour available. Therefore, when it comes to asking questions like that and being curious, a lot of the teachers actually just brush over it and say, well, it's nothing to do with what we're teaching. So
it's no part of this.
Yeah, the system doesn't encourage them to do that anymore. I'm saying they are probably encouraged to do that, but unfortunately they don't have the time and resources to do it. And that's a big failing in our education system, because at the end of the day, you're the people that come after you are the people that will look after you and look after your economy after you're gone, or when you're in your retirement. They're the people that have actually got to. So if you don't educate them to the right level or a better level than you, and don't teach them, then you've only got yourself to blame when they when they don't do the things that they should have been doing, because you've not taught them properly.
Yeah, it's restricting the next generation to learn any further outside the box.
Absolutely.
Basically. Yeah.
So it's all about these things, right? Okay, let's start wrapping up here and talk about acquired knowledge and how it shapes understanding.
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously the acquired knowledge and how it shapes understanding really builds a rich kind of cognitive framework. Your brain learns by creating and strengthening that interconnected networks of information when you are learning. So as new information is acquired, it links you to your existing knowledge, and then forms that kind of richer and more detailed mental
neural pathways.
Yeah.
Neural pathways. New neural pathways build up, and old neural pathways are redundant, disappear. They break down in your brain. So your brain is not like your brain it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago. It's the neural pathways are different because of the habits you create and the things that you interact with. But the key here is it also enhances your critical thinking. It's your problem solving as well, I would say, and the reasoning, and you'd be amazed at the amount of times that I'll get up and after bed 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like I wake up and think, wait a minute, I'm like, it's going round in my mind. I get up, I actually think about it, have a conversation with myself. Yep, we'll all do that. So there's nothing loony about it. And then I go back to my bed and I wake up in the morning and thought, yep, got the answer. And that's what that's all about. It's patterns and familiarization and your memory working towards all the new information that it's analysing and processing in order to put output. So remember, your memory is like a computer. If you put garbage in at the beginning, your memory is a computer. Garbage in at the beginning, you'll get garbage out at the end.
Yeah.
So it's key here. So that's why you have to provide context. What you got to say about context? Providing context. What's that all?
Yeah,
What's that all about?
As you acquire knowledge, you know, that provide it, like I say, it gives you that understanding of what's going on around you, and it helps you understand the context in which things are. Do you know why things occur and why things result in a certain way? Because you've got that knowledge about, right, okay, I've got the steps, but that's how that works, and that's how you end up with this result. So I think it's a recognition of, you know, patterns and trends, and, you know, the decision making process behind.
Look at a classic example. You talked about patterns and trend.
Yeah.
It's like it's a look at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Pattern. Yeah.
Duplicate. Look at me and buy-to-let. It's like the same model every single time. Duplicate. Every single time. It doesn't change. It's the same thing. Somebody actually spoke to me about, oh, do you buy houses? And it's like, no, I'm not interested in buying a house unless it's to rent. It has to be at a certain level and a certain return. That is my criteria. That's the trend and the pattern and the recognition, all the rest of it, and making informed decisions based on broader base of evidence overall. Even now, when you look at what's coming up with the autumn budget, you're kind of thinking, do you actually take your tax-free amount of their pension just now and just run for the hills? Because you don't, you know, there's a lot of, you know, well, growth was out there. You know, was it Friday? Growth, the growth numbers were out. It was zero zilch. And the month, the quarter before that, it was like 0.4 in Britain. It's like, that is not good.
No.
And then they're talking about this black hole as a bigger black hole. How can it be a bigger black hole if you meant to sort it with the national insurance and everything? How is that possible? So it didn't sort it. So what went wrong? We're not getting to what went wrong. Didn't grow the economy how they meant to.
Yeah, so but then they've increased the national insurance. I mean, so where did it go? What did they use it for?
No, it's like that black hole. It just goes in. Nobody's got any fiscal control or accountability. It's like they don't understand what's going on because they've got no commercial acumen. Most of them are just like out of university and they have no idea, and they've always been public servants all their life. And they've never run a business. They don't know anybody that runs a business. They don't understand how a business is run. And this is how the system has to work in order, because it's the private sector. It really brings all the taxes in to pay for the public sector and everything that's needed. Because if the public sector runs all the time and brings all the taxes, where's the money coming from to pay the public sector? Think about that.
Yeah.
It has to come from the private sector. So if you've got no private sector, you've got no public sector. That's what they don't get.
Yeah, it's no joined up thinking about that.
Well, that's context. Maybe I should just have a word in the Chancellor's ear. I didn't think she'd take that as a yeah, definitely. So what is knowledge and shape as well? Increases adaptability, doesn't it?
Yes, and I think your ability to adapt within different situations in order to, you know, as you acquire knowledge and things, it allows you to adapt and change. And as we spoke about, change is such an important thing to progress, whether it's personally within business or things, and change that. You upgrade your skills and change your mindset in order to, you know, open a landscape of new opportunities, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But it also then finally sparks curiosity, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's what you picked on earlier. And I think the curiosity is such a key thing and definitely to embrace it and not hold back about being curious and asking questions, because that's how you learn.
So here's what happens: the more you know, the more you build on it. Because then it's like, well, look at it. If we didn't have the adaptability and the creativity in our brain, and our brain didn't work how it was meant to work, then we'd just be like animals. It's like we would be exactly where we are. There'd be a hierarchical structure, and it would just be survival of the fittest all the time. That would be it. In a hyperbolic chamber, if that makes sense. And that one case scenario, nobody would learn anything. Nobody would adapt. Everybody would just be born. You'd die, and that would be the end of it. There would be nothing left. You procreate, That's all it is. In its basic form.
Yeah.
That's what animals do. So what we've learned to do, our brains, what our superpower is the brain and the curiosity and knowledge and acquire for knowledge, inspire and create and self-reinforce a cycle of continuous learning and growth over all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. If you've got another, I don't know, 60 years, yes. If you've got another 60 years and you've only lived 58 years, which is what I've done, it's like you think to yourself, I'm only halfway there. Holy shit, what else can I learn?
Yeah.
What else can I do in 60 years that I've not done in 58 years? A huge amount.
Huge amount, yeah, definitely.
Who else could you collaborate with? Who else could you learn from? Think about all the young people that are needing out of school that are going to be pioneers, and I'm going to be learning from them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
That's
people
what,
that
I remember Stephen Clark actually said that to me one day. He says, the one thing I love about you, Jim, is like, you'll just learn from anybody, won't you? You didn't have this airs of grace about anything, about the fact that just because somebody's younger, you'll learn from them. It's like you just like if they don't know something you don't know, you want to know it. So that's what I love about you.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you've got that open mindedness and you've got that drive to continually learn throughout the entirety of your life, however long that may be, potentially there's somebody that's not even born that you could learn from one day. Yeah. But potentially there's somebody not even born yet that somebody could learn something from, because they're going to come from a different background from you and bring something new to the table.
I'll be pretty pissed if I get to 120 years old and then just die.
Well,
because it's like, wait a minute, I programmed my mind for it, and it's like I got to 120 and that's it. Switch off.
You should have programmed for 150.
I know. I can't. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if that actually happened? And it's like, because you've thought about it too much, it's 120, it's 120, it's 120. You get to 120, it's my birthday. Oh, dear. Anyway, we'll finish on that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll wrap up. But yeah, learning by acquired knowledge is something, and obviously I hope we've covered quite a lot there. I think always look to develop on your knowledge from other people, from sources, wherever that may be, whether that's online, books, whatever. But always stay curious. I think curiosity and ask questions is something to not be afraid to do, and always learn more.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, Jim, thanks for your insights today. That was great. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. We will catch you next time.